Breaking news and konnichiwa, ladies and gentlemen. The Bank of Japan, otherwise known as the Jelly Beans, have capitulated. They've already pivoted back to no interest rate hikes. Hey! That's exactly what we're here for, friends. Let's go through it. I have a lot of these deep, dark red texts from the Bank of Japan. What's going on? Look, they're all full of shit. We got them. We got them. So, Bank of Japan, friends, remember, their currency is debasing really fast. Now, they've been doing it for 30 years, but it's starting to get really, really bad. That's when you saw the yen carry trade, right? It's starting to have an issue. So, what they did was, they go, hey, to stop the weakness, we have our Japanese yen, which is another shitcoin, right? They go, we've got to toggle up the yield on your Japanese yen shitcoin. They put up the interest rates. So when they came out and they said this, they go, hey, absolutely no way are you going to be selling my Japanese yen any further. It stops now, buddy. That's exactly what they said. With today's meeting, okay, with this fierce stance against raising interest rates that they're going to do and stopping inflation, all this other stuff, they've literally said, no more rate hikes. They just literally came out and said that. They said, no more rate hikes, and we're not raising rates at all. Market's too unstable. They've also said, we must maintain the current degree of easing for the time being. Which everyone's like, what do you mean easing, bro? And everyone's like, wait, you've been easing the whole time? This is all one mess. Look, they're saying that their interest rate regime, which, friends, literally, I got to show you this so you see. Yeah. Look. Okay. Friends, they've had 0% interest rates. Friends, this is 1995, okay? They've had rates at zero for 30 years, pretty much, all right? For 30 years. And then, okay, now this data, it actually doesn't go to where we are now, okay? Maybe it does, okay? So it's still around here. All right, 2025. Now, they've literally gone nowhere for 30 years. And then they go, we're going to hike rates and stop inflation. Literally. Okay, now we're going back down. Oh, man. I'm telling you now, friends. Crypto's in the bag. It's in the bag. It all works. Everything works, friends. They are all caught between a rock and a hard place. The debt's too big. I'm not joking. There literally has to be a great reset. We own the scarce assets. Okay? You've dropped rates to zero for 30 years, Habib. And now you're like, well, that's it. Stop, mate. We're coming for you. We're coming for konnichiwa. One rate hike? Okay, we've got to go back the other way. Oh, man, friends. This is a precursor to the rest of the world. All right, it's exactly happening right now. It's just Japan's debt is so ridiculously large that it just happens straight away. Like I got tears in my eyes. I can't believe this, friends. You know this Japan interest rate, okay? Back when I was trading in a prop firm, friends, I've been hearing about them raising rates. I can't tell you. Like when I came in, it had been gone for 20 years, okay? And now it's been another 10 years. Like, oh! Well, it's all a scam. The whole fiat system's a scam. They all own a bunch of shit coins. Each country, fiat, the Aussie dollar, the British pound, Japanese yen. They're all shit coins. They're all poopy coins. And they're just playing around with these interest rates to try to get people to stop panicking from one to the other. They just don't want people to exit, mass exit. Before, they haven't had an opportunity mass exit except for gold. That's a mass exit, by the way. But they capped the price of gold, right, with all the futures. So you have nowhere to go. Until, my friends, we introduce something called crypto. Now, crypto exists. So, we are a life raft. We're literally a life raft. the life raft, you can actually get out of their system. That's where you should just own crypto, own Bitcoin, own Ethereum, own any of the altcoins you love. And that's pretty much all you have to do. Just own them, because you are just allocating purchasing power to something that they can't debase. So, I mean, it's so fascinating. It really is fascinating, friends, because like, you read these words from these people who like can print trillions of dollars and they control everything, and it's like financial alchemy. And this is the Bank of Japan. This is the interest rate, friends. Is that zero? Is that literally, friends? Is that zero for literally 30 years? And they're just telling you, nah, man, time to pay up. Time to get this inflation back. One hike. The yen carry trade explodes. Everyone lost their mind. Japan's friends. So if you want to know, right? So where is the actual effect of these? Because you're seeing these moves happen, and it all gets reflected in their stock market. That's pretty much where it comes down to. And you can find that in the Nikkei, okay, which is right here. And it's actually wild, man. So no offense, we're used to this like big volatility in crypto, because our market caps are smaller, right? But Japan, right? This is okay where you started, and then your index drops in literally, friends. Can you imagine? In 24 days, your economy, stocks pretty much. You're like, oh wait a minute, you lost a third of your value in a month. That's what we think of your interest rate stuff. So these type of explosion things happening, once you start having trillions of dollars wiped out, they all lose their minds, because everyone is turbo leveraged, friends. Because, in crypto, we can't use leverage. You're like, well, basically, you're trying to make a 10x. So you can't have a 10x leverage, because you just get wiped out, right? Because the volatility is huge. But in stock market world, they are leveraged to the gills like that. Huge. I mean, houses are like 20x leverage, you see? So everything's like 5x, 10x leverage. And then sometimes, friends, it's even like, not joking, like 500x leverage, 100x leverage. But they're playing with bonds with that very, very little tight spreads. So anything that cracks, it's game over. It's literally game over. But these players are very, very, very big. So it's like, it's like a god whale basically like getting out of the game. That's like how rare it is. But when it does happen, they're like, oh, crap, we have to print so much money again. So that's pretty much what's going on with Japan. And friends, I just want to remind you, it's just a canary in the coal mine. It's just showing you, you guys put rates that low for that long, and now finally inflation's going up. Okay, put rates the other way. Can't do it. Can't do it. Okay, they got to bring it back down. They really do have to bring it back down. So the most important part, friends, is everything that crypto you're in crypto for. So these are the comments, friends, that they predict from the US Fed soon, right? The Bank of Japan said they are not going to raise rates anymore because of this market instability. This means they are fully committed to debasing the currency, which, see, they don't say that to you. Okay, I want to show you. So the Bank of Japan, Uchida, he's the... everyone's laughing at this comment he made. He says, we need to keep easing firmly for the time being. And I was like, bro, what does that mean? What do you mean firmly? How you easing firmly? You know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about? They're like, hey, say something to make everyone shut up, because everyone's selling. Oh man, it's great. You saw that Japanese Nikkei, right, as well, friends. This is actually the most fascinating thing of all. The Japanese Nikkei index somehow on the week is actually retraced the move. Like, this is insane. It went limit up as well, so a 13% bounce. Oh man, look how fast they were to reject to get it. They know, friends. These look, everything is psychology of the people, and especially investors. And if they let things happen for too long, right, they basically forfeit their ability to rescue it, because the infection of fear is too much. And so that's why they try to do stuff like this, where it's like, hey, quick, print a weekly doji, man. Got to get back up. And they know that, right? But I do have a prophecy eventually down the track. I'm sure it doesn't take too much imagination to see this now. There will be a point where US Fed tries printing, and then it's not going to work, and it's going to go down harder. Then they're going to print again, not going to work. Something is going to happen down the track. Now, I hope that's further down the track. I hope it's bear market stuff. I hope whatever. And I hope it's like nowhere near us now, but you can just don't think like, they pushed the button to make the thing go up. The only way they can actually really do that, friends, is if like they have a Save America package, which is like, just a BS made up term where they go, hey, to protect your 401 savings, 401ks, the US Fed, we're going to have to make like another fund, and then we buy your ETFs for you. They literally just print money and they buy stocks themselves. Just let you know, you're looking at a government that already does that. That's right, friends. You know the Bank of Japan that we're reporting on here? Friends, the BOJ, the Bank of Jelly Beans, they own, I think, like it's 15% of the Japanese stock market now. Right? It's ridiculous. Like even 5%, 10%, something huge. Why? They've just been printing money the whole time to buy it up. Can you believe it? They had to commit to that. And like if I show you why, okay, this is the Japanese Nikkei index, friends. It's been absolutely obliterated since for 30 years. Here you go. So this is 1990. Okay, and they dropped down rates. Think about this. They had to drop down rates to 0 here. And you're only back to break even 25 years later. Wow, that's just showing you how big this bubble was in Japan. Their GDP went up 40 times pretty much in one generation. Can you imagine? That's literally, that is like a third world country now becoming literally top 5 in 20 years, right? It's really like it's absolutely insane. It's crazy. So that's the type of growth that Japan got. And then you explode too much. Now they don't immigrate to make up for it. And yes, that's the issues they have. Now, I've got to remind you, right? So with this interest rate rise, so it was recently thought that the Japan government would act tough and disciplined to protect the yen currency by raising rates. So you got to remember, right? If there are people in a population in your country, when they work, friends, they supply their labor. So you go to work for a day. You're like, hey, here's my body. Here's my soul. Here's my labor for 8 hours. Okay, 8 hours, you get me. And then they pay you a wage. You hold it in the currency. Yes, now you hold it in the currency. Now, if the currency is losing too much value, going inflationary, then it's the duty of the central bank to say, man, we've got to put rates up. We've got to make people keep that bank account fresh and active with their currency units. We don't want them to just keep spending stuff all the time. Because if you get money and spend it, friends, that's literally hyperinflationary. That's what happens in like Argentina and Venezuela. People would get paid by the hour and they would go get milk because the prices would be rising up by the end of the day. Yeah, that's kind of crazy to think about, man. Like maybe you get paid like $4 for the day, but the milk is $4.40 by the end of the day. So as soon as you get paid at midday, you quickly got to go and get it. That's just such a wild thing to think about. Now, when it comes to these, obviously, we thought, wow, okay, well, they're finally going to put the inflation up because, it's pretty much debasing their currency to poop house. They're going to put the interest rates up, right? And then, they do a 180 straight away. So we got them by the balls here. Everyone's got literally grabbed by the balls. There's too much debt. There's an insane amount of leverage. And one prick of this, everything's going to blow. What are they going to do? Well, great reset. It's coming. We don't know when, though. We don't know when. CBDC, digital dollar, friends, that's all great reset. And all it is they're going to make all these stories and everything. Hey, what it is? It's going to be literally, they go, hey, put your currency, put the old system stuff, the old stuff. Come and join the new fresh currency. Come and join the new age. Okay, and when you do that, they're going to give you some random number of digits. So I guarantee they're going to do this. You're not going to know how much you get debased. All right, you're not going to know. It's going to be sleight of hand. It's like a magician. All right, you're not going to know that, oh my gosh, I got debased 4-1 in the past 5 years or 10 years. Okay, they're not going to do that. That's why, friends, the government, they have every duty pretty much for themselves. They have to control the meat supply. They have to control the food supply on the farms. All right, they have to. And they have to keep energy on the tracks. Why? It's because if they can control the food supply and energy as much as they can, no matter how much they debase and rob from the population, you never leave because you are always fed. All right. If you go hungry, civilization's gone in 7 days. They know that. Especially if they're robbing you from your purchasing power. Like, okay, you get one less iPhone every 2 years. Okay, you can't buy an iPhone every year. You got to buy an iPhone every 2 years. Yeah, it pisses you off, but that's nowhere near the catastrophe of, okay, you can't even eat anymore. And they know that on that scale. But when they're robbing you, your purchasing power will get sucked away. But if they can keep you fed, then at least they can just keep the population going and going long enough for them to basically do this great reset garbage, okay? But they can't great reset our crypto, can they? Because they don't own it. Okay, they don't own it. So when they're raising these rates, friends, like, hey, look, friends, the system's dead. Pretty much the system's dead. Look, Bank of Japan, bro. Nice interest rate raises after 30 years, right? So konnichiwa to you once again, friends. Pokemon Island, please. Just keep Pokemon Island beaming for us. Now, you're seeing this. This is the end game for everything, by the way. The debt only gets bigger, right? This is literally fast forward USA. We just don't know when it's going to happen. 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. Maybe they don't even let it get to that point, friends, and they just do a great reset. They just move on over. You don't know. Betting on it is like, that's Harry Dent. Harry Dent is like 90% drop. You know, like, man, it might be a long time. You're betting on that, man. Like, it's just, you know, so they've done a 180-degree turn now. Holding fiat's a poopy strategy. Stablecoins are for soy boys. So this is pretty much it, friends. This is these types of moves. They're gonna happen more frequently over time. And now it's basically okay. U.S. economy's cracked. The unemployment rate is here. Maybe it doesn't like crack hard overnight, but something's gonna give somewhere. You know, something's gonna give. It's just that. What's going to happen, right? Are they going to force the Fed to do this? That's why, look, I still think, friends, if you look at, for example, the Nasdaq, okay, I know, look, you're like, hey, you're not high at all. I know, but you got to put it on a log chart to show you that's what it is, okay? This is because they're growing at like 8% per year. That's pretty much it, straight line, all right? Everyone's always going to be talking about, you know, GFC type of collapses and stuff here. This is even zombie virus. All right. I do think at some point, though, now I don't know where from, could be higher, but at some point, there's a dip. They print money, everything's going okay, and it comes back and breaks the low. And now I don't know where from, but it's just because if you like, I don't want to go through too much for you, but if you look at all the US policies, right, from the 9/11, the Patriot Act, and just getting all this total control stuff, and everything the central banks are doing and how they're owning and everything and Roca Negra and stuff. If you see them all on the one after the other, you know where the trend is going. Okay, it's like inevitable. You go, okay, if you start from where they started and you move up to where we are now, you just like you follow the trend of the moves. It's working towards just Japan, where in Japan the stocks can't go up. They need the central bank to literally buy them up themselves. That's where it's eventually working towards. Now, saying that in Americana is very politically sensitive, and they're not going to say it like that. And that's why it's just conspiracy sometimes. Look, oh, what a convenient story that the next world event, well, that's going to happen, friends. There'll be another world event. There's a big crisis. And remember, they're killing this system to make the new system look good. All right? They're killing this system. It's faster and faster. You actually find that that's what's happening, okay? And then when they know, like, oh, crap, we've got to get people off into the new system, right? So this one, like, we're just killing it at the end of days. We've got to make this one look even worse. So what do? Okay, let's get a crisis in. You'll see, friends, you will see this. It'll have, I don't know what the name's going to be. I don't know which bank it's going to be. There's going to be, look, a continuation of what's going on now is banks in USA, they're dropping in numbers, all right? And they're actually consolidating to US Fed slowly. If you go check everything, okay? That literally small things are getting wiped out, and it's basically they're all centralizing the bank stuff. And that's a digital dollar. Because guess what? Your currency is not backed by real money anymore, right? It's just these literally digital units. And, you know, they have every incentive to keep everybody on their own grid, because they can basically, friends, just like crypto, right? The network effect. So the network effect of the US dollar is biggest in the world, right? It's got 85% of the world. But the network effect for them, if they can keep everybody on this digital dollar CBDC, well, the cost of you leaving is literally you end your life. Like, you're literally irrelevant anymore. You can't afford to not be in the system. That's ultimately where they want to go. Okay, so it's like they've put a digital gun to your head. That's ultimately where all of this is going. You can see where it's coming. I'm just saying, bro, you guys, 30 years down is, you know what I mean? That was your interest rate hike cycle. Your hike cycle's done already. Beep. Oh, man. So I hope you understand. I hope you understand where it's going now, friends. And that's why this debasement, it's a reflection of the system. The system is like pretty much just pooped, right? The system's pooped. You see these guys pivot straight away. They're not tough. They're not tough. And look, you always get someone saying, "Oh, they're gonna wipe out all the people out there." Yeah, bro. If they wipe out crypto, do you want to know how many trillions of dollars get taken down? And these people are rich and powerful, friends. Okay, if you take a 95% hit tomorrow, it's gonna hurt, but you can make it back. You can make it back. Okay. When someone owns $4 billion and they have access to government agents and they can rig elections and bribe a lot of people, a 95% wipeout for them is an ungodly amount of wipeouts, okay? They can't make it back. Most of them, they can't make it back. They've lost way too much power. Okay, so people with $10 million net worth, even $100 million net worth, them getting wiped out 95, 99%. Like if you wipe out every single one of them, it will never happen, friends. So that's the alternative, okay? That's the alternative. These people concentrate the pyramid on the top, they'll never do that. And they have enough money to basically bribe the politicians to keep brainwashing everybody in the world. Ask for the money printer. Ask for the money printer. You know what I mean? So, but now we're all so financialized, we ask for it anyway. We're like, hey, we've got to make that number go up. Okay, so everybody's stuck in the system now. Now, where do we go from here? Well, you're still seeing Bitcoin, friends. It's still green on the weekly super trend. And look, we're not going to be safe forever. But now, you're like, wait a minute. As soon as the market goes down, you guys pivot hard straight away. Once again, it's not an issue right now. Because mainstream crypto people, we are switched on, right? All of us, but and you as well, audience, mainstream, everybody like reporting all these. We're all switched on, friends. The people who aren't switched on, that's the population. They are retailers. They are the people who they are the ones getting brainwashed. It's like they're the ones who they're running the wheels in the economy. They're pretty much the engine of the economy. And some call them slaves. They're willingly being slaves. They're basically just rats stuck in the rat race, and they're worth a lot. Okay, now individually they're worth nothing. They're treated like nothing. It's very, very sad. That's if you're in that system, you're literally treated like dog shit. Like, look at this. Hey, your currency's debasing. We gotta actually debase it more. You know what I mean? Like, hey, even if you tell them this doesn't, then doesn't compute. Right? So, hey, we're gonna stop all that inflation stuff. Crap, but financial stuff's going down. We gotta switch it around here. That's how much little respect I have for them. All right. But it becomes a problem when someone, right, could be an Andrew Tate, could be an Elon Musk, could be Donald Trump, someone is trying to wake them up. That's when it becomes a problem. All right. Now, the central bank, friends, is always tied behind all these big stuff in history all the time. Many political assassinations of stuff come straight from the central bank. US assassinations straight from the central bank every single time because they got the money printer. Because their money printer only has value as long as there are rats working or supplying their labor and working for that useless currency. Okay, if you are taking hordes of people away to another system, that's when I'm gonna put the bullet in your head. All right. Now we haven't got to that part yet. Friends. Now we're still in the what's going on? Who's Japan? They have a Pokemon Island? Yeah, we're still in that part. But eventually, maybe Bitcoin $200,000 starts to wake them up again a bit too much. And then they're going to have to do the next level of the scamming. You never know. Maybe orchestration of Roca Negra just dumping the Bitcoin spot ETF. Maybe self-banning custody. You see what I mean? That stuff. So why I talk about this self-banning custody and these Roca Negra Trojan horse friends, I want you to know that it's always out there and we're still early. Okay? It's always out there. It can happen. Okay, it's like their emergence. Like when we get too high, I want you to know that we can't be too euphoric forever. They still have a plan, and the plan is okay. We got to put the brakes on this. We got to reel it in. Let's do a self-custody ban. Let's do these little things. The same thing with the paper gold ETF to kind of slow this down, just so we can reel things in. Let things consolidate for a year or two while we get basically more of an advantage in crypto. Maybe they install more feds, a couple more glowies in the Ethereum network or Solana, whatever it is. You see what I mean, friends? These bigger macro things, they are in play. But right now, today, this is the best thing we've seen, right? You just seen Bank of Japan, the jelly bean guys, literally pivot 180. It's telling you right now, crypto's destined for higher. Make sure you like, subscribe, bell button, or catch the next one.